And it's like back to what we were saying about the collective ethos, but we didn't say it like that. But that's what we was alluding to, right? So it's like in our culture, right? You say, well, why can't we? I remember brothers tried to raise 10,000 to do something. They couldn't even raise 10,000, right? Which is crazy to me. When my daughter dance school, they raised $10,000 in 24 hours selling popcorn. Right? So sometimes we gotta look at
trust and values, man. Like,
you see what I'm saying?
Where's people's trust and where are people's values at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes like just trying new things. But if you don't know nothing new, you keep trying the old thing, right? So it's like people that's like active, have been active in their children's life. They see other things as well too, right? Or actually talk to their children or talk to young people like young people and not little kids, right? You'll learn different things, right? You'll have different understanding, so you can try new things, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, that's like I go to cryptocurrency meetups, right? Since 2016. I've been on all of that stuff. Some of the stuff I don't like NFTs. I'm not a real fan of just the art NFT, but I do like if it's attached to something physical like a book or music or something like that, right? But it's not enough people yet that's on it. So if you've got a, like somebody asked me why did I make one of my books to an NFT, I said because my market ain't dealing with cryptocurrency, right? You got to know them. They don't know nothing about no Cardona. They don't know nothing. They might only know about Bitcoin because of it's became mainstream language. But they don't really know about cryptocurrency. They don't know about decentralization. So why would I create something and then gotta educate them on something that's not even fully integrated, that's still like the Wild West as we speak, right? Because you gotta be wise. So you gotta create something in a medium which people can get it if you want them to have it. Now, if you don't want them to have it, but a select few, then you sell it in the phantom coin. See how many people, even if they don't first, they gotta find out how to even get that coin for one, because it's not sold everywhere, right? So it's being realistic, right? But I think that knowing what's going on, knowing the changes, because sooner or later this stuff is going to be integrated into our society, just like PayPal was, right? Remember at one time you couldn't pay for stuff with PayPal, right? PayPal wasn't in Uber 10 years ago, in the Uber app, right? Google Play, Google Pay, that wasn't in the apps a year ago. Not a year ago, but a few years ago, right? So as technology get integrated, then you can start creating because people are more comfortable. But until they get there,
I just want to be mindful of, like, you know, with this technology and the way things are going, they're actually making a new people. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like, you know, this whole transhumanism thing, right? Like, they making a new people, right? Now, with this knowledge, I know the importance of building your own ciphers, right? People dealing with people of their own like mind. So you come together, people of like mind, and you can actually fight against, you know, the majority who's actually going in this direction, because they're this bio-digital convergence thing that's happening, where they're putting with the augmented reality, the chips or you know, trying to get rid of your phone, right? Like now you're gonna be communicating with your glasses or your watch, and you're gonna have your watch implanted into your skin. That's transhumanism, right? Right? So this is what the technology is going, and people are vying for it because they think that they buy into that. But this goes back to their values, and they think that you know, I can be stronger than you by putting a chip in my arm, right, or chip in back in my ear. I'm going to do that, I'm going to get 90 of them because I'm, now I can feel like I could battle you now. I can actually stand on the same court as you.
So some of that stuff is crazy, but this is how. So that
this is where technology
you
going.
know that they just grafted a dire wolf, right? That been extinct for 13,000 years, right?
No, I didn't hear about that. But they
named them Romulus and Remus
from Rome. Okay, see, you see what I'm saying? This is what a weak and grafted man is doing and is putting into the atmosphere.
But that's with technology.
To Elon Musk and whatnot, like this is where he's putting his money at.
Technology, right? Technology, this with anything, it always have a duality to it.
Yes.
Right?
Of course, yeah.
So you always gonna have those extremists. That's like, I forgot the gentleman name, the billionaire, and he be using his son blood and he take 1,800 pills a day. He trying to reverse his age and stuff like that, right? So it's like you always gonna have, I call those people on the fringes, right? You know what I mean? And who knows, some useful information might come from out of that, right? Right? Some useful information. But with the technology, my thing is that we have to detour some of our children so we can combat some of that, right?
No, and that's what I'm getting at. Because I had a bill with Sunya's a couple of the classes that he had to go. He mentioned the science of, or the term legacy humans, meaning the people who fight against getting vaccines, who fight against getting the chips and everything. We're going to be considered those people or the legacy, like leaving, like. And I actually wanted to say something about when I was building the Matrix mentioned like the legacy human people who are not connected to the system. You know what I'm saying? So this culture, not everybody, because like I said, goes back to your value system. Some people are plugged into from this culture. You know what I'm saying? Some people went and got the vaccine. Some people, believe in transhumanism or this whole bio-digital convergence. But then there are people who say, yo, no, I'm actually not with that,
Yeah, but all of that, like, I don't see like one is right or one is wrong. I think extremism, I don't care which way of the road, I don't care which way, I think extremism is wrong because it's the law of extremism, right? It's like one extreme pushes the other extreme, right? Light is good, right? But if I put light in your face, you blind. So it's just like you being in the dark. So I think that, whatever you practice, you can't practice extremism with it, and you can't practice it to the point where if somebody is not, if their understanding is different, you have to have room for them to have their understanding, right? And not be like, oh, that's now Cipher. Oh, no, I just don't. Whatever your rationale and your reason for doing certain things, I respect it. I'm listening to it. I respect it. But that's not my reason or rationale, right? No. I'm saying no. I'm saying that.
I get what you're saying.
This is how we supposed to be, to where we still supposed to be in home.
Right. I'm just saying. Okay, God, you have a certain mandate for your family. Like you would say, all right, for me and my family, I'm not going to do this. And to extend it to the cycle that I'm building with those who are like, okay, this is why I don't do it, and here are the dangers, here's the pros and cons of this, and this is the cycle that we're building. You see what I'm saying? And respect to anybody who's going to do what they're going to do that may oppose what we're doing, but this is here in terms of goes for preserving the original man, because like I said, they're making a new people, right? So now you say like to preserve the original man, this is what like the father said, or Allah said, don't deal with white women. That's to preserve the original man. Don't go that route. Leave dope alone to preserve. Like these are the values that we need to have so that we don't get caught up in those pitfalls of those ideas. You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to get caught up in transhumanism, and then now you look into the future, and all your grandbabies is transhumanism. Like you want to figure out a way to protect your because this is what I see down the line, and it's becoming something where as simple as being able to communicate, being
But a lot of that stuff is not even for us, right?
No, it's not.
So it's like when you talk about transhuman, all this and that, right? The average black person or brown person, they don't even care about that, right? So it goes back to a people that have a negative population growth, right? So if you got a negative population growth, you're going to try to find out ways how to use survival.
And to extend your
expiration
date.
It's this show on Netflix I like, but it's from a book where they download their consciousness on a stack.
Oh, that's crazy.
And they call the body a sleeve. You know what I mean? So long as you just stack
what
like
movie is this? It's a flick or is it?
It's a series. The dude Mackey played in the second season of it. You know what I mean? But it's a series, and I was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? So you can download your consciousness like on a microchip. You know what I mean? And it's from a novel. Let me see if I can find it.
Now, think about the reverse polarity of that to the idea of like, yo, we could imagine if you could download the consciousness of Allah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just download that. This is where the people are at right now. Wanting to just download the consciousness of, and yeah, I want to preserve my great grandmother's consciousness. So all I gotta do is put it on a disc and download it, and I could, now my children, my great grandchildren, and so forth can just download. God, it's getting
that would be dope. You won't think so?
No, but in that way now reverse the polarity again. What kind of control do you have over people that opt into that kind of system?
See, that's a different topic. I'm gonna find myself. That's a different topic. But what I'm saying with technology, right? Regardless, I'll be watching this dude sometimes named something Montgomery. He was a hacker, right? And he be showing all the different type of self-taught, right? And he's on an elite level with it. So I'm like, yo, how can we even defend, if we have to defend or compete, if we don't even understand the technology?
That's another part right there. That part. You don't even understand the technology.
Yeah, so it's like, and I think
people are opted into this technology not knowing the full scope.
No, I'm talking about as far as developing the technology. I'm not talking about case use of the technology, right? So it's like if we don't understand, right, and if we don't create, then we are subject to it, right?
Yes.
Versus being creators of it. Because once you understand how something works, and if you civilize, you're gonna create something that the people will need, right? You know what I mean? But if you don't understand it at all, then that puts you at a disadvantage. And I think that we're quick to put our son, give him a basketball, football, which nothing wrong with that. But when we try to say this is your exclusive realm of activity, right? At the expense of thinking, look at I like the brother from Boston Celtics. He's nice in basketball, but he's nice everywhere. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know his name, but I know when I see him. You know what I mean? He's highly educated, right? And he's a scholar. And he I think he won MVP for the Celtics and stuff like that, right? So, and I think that when we with our children, right? It's like we push them when you just don't have to be one way. You just don't have to be this at the expense of that. Because we're going to need these mental tools. We're going to need people with certain type of skill sets. We're going to need people that know what multi-language models are. right? We're gonna need people. AI is already in everything, right? So we're gonna need people to actually develop an AI for our needs.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. So, but if we not
in those arenas, and we don't have.
And that's right. If we not in those arenas, like most people don't know. I forgot the black dude name. The richest black man the richest black person in America got is in tech. Right. Not no entertainer. And it's crazy because his name eludes me. But if I choose that, Google's gonna pop up. But we know Oprah Winfrey name off the back, right? We know Magic Johnson, we know Michael Jordan, we know Jay-Z, right? But the person that's actually the richest black man in this country from a non-entertainment perspective, his name eludes our mind when it should be dripping off our tongue.
Right.
Right? So, and that shows you, so what if we start showing young people, look, this dude got a bag, because this is what they say, right? This dude got a bag, and he didn't get no bag from dribbling no basketball. He got a bag from using his mind.
You must do your own research, as I did.
INFMEGA did this.